back again tonight. I hope you loved the thumbnail as much as I did. I cracked up for a second. I did. I chuckled. It was great. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Trying to get this thing set up. Right here. Alright, we're going to start off on a trade that everyone should have gotten. But one of my buddies, good friends, and traders in my Discord posted this alert on December, I think it was, no, let me look. No, this is one of his long terms. Posted it in around June 13th, 14th, something like that. 15th, I think it was. June 15th. He had a call option placed for Netflix for January 20th of 2023. Now, it's months ago. And Netflix was down around the $160, $170 range. Man, Netflix $315 today. There he is. The man. Yeah, guys, it's he saw this double bottom at the time that it was happening. Lower levels of negative momentum. He posted the trade. It was one of his long term calls. Look at that. I mean, you've almost doubled in price, and depending on when you entered it, you did. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. And back above the 200 moving average. Come on, man. Crushing it. Crushing it. Where's our folks at? Reaper? Where's the peeps, man? They're not peeping. They peeping. They just ain't saying nothing. They be peeping. They be looking, but they ain't saying nothing. I think we all should just stop trading and refuse to trade and just buy Bitcoin, and that's it. No more trading, just buy. We're only buyers in the Bitcoin world. No selling. We just keep buying until we can't buy no more. And that's what I think we should do. Everyone sell everything, buy Bitcoin, and then we wait. We drink, we party, and we wait. Hopefully we'll have some viewers in here with some questions shortly. If not, I will be pouring a glass of whiskey, eating red beans and rice. Sandwich man. There you go. There you go. I'm glad you could show up, man. Glad you could be here. Sandwich man. Like it. I really wished I knew where that name came from. What are your indicator settings? On what indicator? Most everything is just their standard factory settings, and it's worked out well for me for like 12 years. I didn't design these indicators, so who am I to critique lots of them? And there's lots of them out there. You got lots of people that say, hey, I can make this indicator better by setting it to this ratio or that ratio. Nah, it's not what I do. That's not my department. I just learned 12, 14 years ago on the standard settings of the MACD and the RSI, and that's it. Like I don't try and make things fit me. I learned to fit the traditional classical uh, educational part of it. That's how I learned. That's how I was taught, and I don't change anything. I've just been doing the same thing for 12 to 14 years here. Like, just I'm not, and it works, so I'm not going to change it. That's it, man. I like to learn. I love new information every day, but I don't change what I do or how I do it. Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. You got, if you look down through like moving averages, there's Bob Crackrock's moving average +5, and then there's Yaki Mama Soto or whatever, exponential moving average with rice. I don't know, all kinds of shit. Yeah, it's uh, you would go down to yeah. I mean, you can look at anything like right there, just moving. You've got all kinds of. You've got the exponential. You got ribbons. You got weighted. You got moving cross. Like, there's all kinds of different that just doesn't mean anything to me. And I mean, I'm sure they work with other people, hall moving, all that different stuff. It just has never been necessary. You look down here, community scripts where people changed stuff and did this, and I just don't find it necessary. Just good old moving averages. You have your EMAs and your MAs, and either of those just fine. Me and Reaper back, yeah, default's fine. That's it. Like, I mean, that's what was set up with a classical package. In the beginning, they only had one. It was how it worked. So there's the Ichimoku Cloud, and I know how to use it. I've used it before. I'm not crazy about it. It's just it wasn't. I don't know if you checked that out yet. It's kind of neat, but realistically, it's not telling me any more. In my personal opinion, it's not telling me any more than a MACD, and that's it. Like, it's just a different way of looking at it than the fears and all that stuff. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I just keep it simple, stupid. That's the way I look at it. I can't get too crazy. I gotta keep it simple because I'm not a smart man. I am a study till I get it right man. Something I've just recently, I'll turn this on. Something I have just recently, we can turn it down like the 4 hour. Uh, Reaper turned me on to this, and I've been giving it a try and checking it out. The Watson envelope, the Luxalgo, their little indicator, and we found that Reaper loves it. Never fails for him. I like the idea of it on about a 15 minute, 5 minute, the 1 minute. I really like it if you're trying to scalp. It's pretty neat. But then again, it, to me, if you really want to look at it, so this candle, when it trickled down and touched the bottom dotted line, you would want to go long on it on a little scalp trade heading back up towards the top line. Well, that also tells you the same thing here. The MACD was losing negative momentum, and look what it did. And then same thing, you get up here, you touch the top lines, you'd want to short it back down into the channel. Same thing here. You peaked, you started losing negative momentum or positive momentum going negative. So realistically, everything tells you the same thing in a different way. And that's just kind of my stubborn old ways of doing it. But you can, whatever works for you, whatever seems the easiest to comprehend, it's great, man. They've got all kinds of ribbons and rainbows and alligator. There's the alligator. There's Ichimoku clouds. There's all kinds of other insane stuff that some of them get pretty insane. Blockchain in the house. There he is. Attaboy. So I'm gonna pop over here to this, and y'all tell me, how does everybody feel about my idea slash analysis on the Bitcoin yearly? Just out of opinion. If anybody saw the video, if not, let me know. I can go over it real quick. But I want to hear some varied opinions. How do y'all feel like that video went with this analysis? Am I correct? Am I off? You got your own opinions. Uh, is it going higher? Is it going lower? Is it dead? Let's get some conversation started on that, because this right here is, to me, this is very exciting, very juicy. Like, makes me want to do crazy stuff. I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm sure the people's money has an opinion on it, but to me, it just looks to me, your 4 year cycle, you kind of want to have your bags packed, sitting there ready in year 3. You know, and depending on where you get in there, I don't like trying to catch bottoms and tops. I just want to get close. I want to play the meat. So right here, that's cool. I mean, let me see what kind of percentage drop we had here, really. I mean, you had from the bottom to the bottom candle. I mean, you had like 106% drop. That's fine. So you lost half your value. If I had got in at $311, I might have been pissed at the time that it went to 155. But if you have the right mindset, look where you had went. You would have suffered that small 2 or 3 month drawdown to only be sitting at $20,000 at the top of that cycle, or you would have been sitting at $70,000. So it's all perspective. Oh, absolutely. On the Bitcoin futures, bro, you got it. You're gonna smash it. So when it comes to crypto, have a little chunk of change over to the side that you can scalp and play your little leveraged games with, and that's fun. That's great. That little bit will tame your gambling genes. You know, we all got them. But a smart investor can look at this and say, hey, I want to be ready. I want to have as much as I can at the beginning or sometime during year 3, because I have a 3-year bull run about to get started. And that's not an opinion. That is what the chart shows. 3-year bull run right here. And we're starting year 3 and it's green already. It opened green. That's pretty wicked. So I want to see us hit 30,000 this year. Next year, don't know why we wouldn't hit $165,000 per Bitcoin. So I love this. This gets me excited. This right here gives me total bonage. Just want to stack as much crypto in a panic as I possibly can, because it can get away from you quick. I mean, these are year candles. That's inside of a year. That happened quickly. So that's that. Here's the yearly candles on Shiba Inu, in case anybody cared. This was like a spinning top or long-legged doji, followed by the most ridiculous engulfing candle you've ever seen in your life. Spooky, spooky. But man, look at this weekly. We got rejected from the 200, touched it with a candle body, and it got smacked flat of its back. Strangely enough, we did not make a lower low than our previous low. That's crazy. Not by much. You know, the week's not over till Sunday. This could continue to dump. But if it don't, maybe it holds up. But that big engulfing candle is not helping me a lot. It's not giving me any kind of hope at all. I want to thank the new like 5 subscribers on YouTube today. If you're here, if you're not, that's fine too. But I think Shiba Inu has a long way to go, a lot of work to do. But I mean, ultimately, higher lows from its original low back in September of 21 and our low of June of 22. Here we are. It could wake up, just like Dogecoin. Lots of similar crap going on. Doge is a little different, more of a falling wedge, and Doge is not quite. I mean, it looks pretty good compared to a lot of cryptos. Don't get me wrong, but it has definitely been on the struggle bus for sure, because we all know that the blockchain solutions likes the struggle bus. But we're losing all this positive momentum, man. Dogecoin is gonna look like it needs to take another dip, or it may be back testing this line, and this downward sloping trend line may get back tested and it bounce and take a rip. That's the weekly. Well, look at the daily. It's building positive momentum, like it little triangle above triangle, and like I've showed y'all a million times before, Doge loves these triangles of any direction, any shape and size, long ones, and this gets me hype about Doge. You got all kinds of long triangles that broke out of and done just phenomenal stuff afterwards. And we see a very long, prolonged downtrend, which actually probably brings you to like an 88%, 78 to 88% retrace, a fib level. It's going to bounce and find some kind of reaction. Even on the smaller time frame, you get like little bitty tiny triangles. It loves triangles more so than anything else. And this large one that's been going since May of 21, broke up with this huge Elon candle. Old Elon with his tweets candle, back tested, made a higher low. Trying to back test again, higher low. It really needs to make a higher high. It needs to get above that 16-cent mark, because if you don't, then you have a double top realistically. Right there, 1, 2, and then we go back down to, if we're lucky, we'll only go back down to 4 cents. We break below a penny, watch out below. Watch out below. We get down here to some crazy levels. But, okay, Sandwich Man, anybody? Any questions? Anything you need me to pull up and look at? It's on y'all, man. Y'all got to bust in there. I'm just trying to keep the convo going here. Pick out some stuff that we want to look at. Crypto, stocks, whatever. Throw it out there. Total market cap of crypto. Long-term trend line. Broke below it. Kind of spooky. But you take out Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looks a little better. Not tremendously. GBT, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, is pitiful. Looks awful. I definitely think they're gonna have a few problems if this market don't start turning around soon on crypto. Absolutely. Let's go back and look at gold, because we had the gold trade on our radar the other day on the weekly and everything, and we had a big weekly candle overall. There was a small pullback one day, but we ate most of that up. We look at the daily. Yeah, we touched the top of our supply line, dipped, and we just about, I would say we're going to call it an engulfing candle, and that's good for gold. And we're still in the positive momentum, still building it. Christopher Haney, how you doing, man? I am not telling you to go dump your savings into Bitcoin. I'm not telling you that. I'm not going to say to go do that at all. I would never tell you to go put all of your money into Bitcoin. I would never say that. But if you did, I would definitely have a conversation with you about why you did it and what you expect from that, and a discussion on is that like how that affects you. Um, I've done crazy crap like that. Not saying you should. I've done insane stuff like that. Several of us have. So, if you have let's just say, if you have 5 to 10 years that you'll never worry about seeing that money, I'm not going to make fun of you for doing it. If you need that money to pay mortgage and rents and you plan on retiring in 2 years, I definitely I would definitely caution you against that. But everybody has their own risk tolerance. And my risk tolerance is more. That's it. I want to risk more to make more. But I would never tell anybody to go put your life savings in Bitcoin or any crypto for that matter. So gold's looking great, people. If you're in gold, the 4 hour lost that little bit of negative momentum we had yesterday, and right back up, making that higher high. I love it. I mean, it'll probably break, but when? When does it break? This is such a long, narrow channel. When do we lose the major momentum? Right now, it's kind of when we break these little shoulder-like levels. Man, you talking about 1900, 2000 coming up again, which would put us way on down here. Yeah, in this rising wedge, and then maybe it triple tops and dumps on a macro scale. Who knows? Reaper, I guess Reaper can say that's fine. You can say that. I'm not going to say it. I think I get kicked off YouTube for saying shit like that. I believe. Don't need to do that again. That was a nightmare. I guess we'll look at some of the major indices. Look at the old Dow Jones, man. Look at her go. Everything's been trending down in this falling, broadening wedge. And we popped out of it. So we sprung. We back tested the spring. And now we're having follow through price action to the upside. I can't say that this is a pivot point or a turn in the markets. But what I can say is the heavily weighted stuff in the Dow. The Dow was one of the laggards on the way down a lot, because a lot of the NASDAQ stuff and tech stocks hung on, because whereas the Dow, the industrial, started falling off quickly during the pandemic throughout those 2 years, because so many things were shut down and running on just very skeleton crews. And the tech stocks were thriving because so many people still wasn't working at home. You had a lot of just technology still doing well. Economy opens back up. Industrial type stuff is back full steam. People doing industrial type shit and using less of the technology. There's less people sitting on Facebook all day. There's less people sitting on Google and YouTube and all that stuff every day now. So you can see why they're being dumped. This is popping, because you go right in here to. I mean, I see what I got, drew what I want to happen, but we haven't broke out yet. So there's that flip where everybody kind of went into value for a while and got out of growth, and it still hasn't really came back yet. And they would call them the growth stocks just because they're important and we use them so much. But see, any tech heavy stuff, you got to be wary. Let's look at Uber. That's a good idea. Who doesn't love a good Uber? Uber. It's French for give me a ride, bitch. On the weekly, right down here on the MACD, It's telling you something. It's trying to go positive, and we're seeing the results of that these last two weekly candles. We'll look at the daily. It's already went positive the last 3 days. I like it. I like it a lot. It kind of gapped up. We filled the gap, and I think we're gonna get that kind of low and higher low while we're making a lot less levels. And this will almost go way back to here. Yeah, I mean, we're losing sellers. The sellers are getting exhausted on Uber and on so many other things in the market. When it starts going green on that MACD, you're seeing that lower levels of sellers are in the market, and we're making a low, a higher low. Now we've just got to get above the 200, make a higher high, and build confidence that we're making a trend changing structure. That's what you're looking for in a pivot from bear market to bull market. You're looking for a trend changing structure. And what that is, most of the time for me, is going to be a W shape, or we're going to have a big rounded bottom. Okay? But it looks good on the daily. Looks like we have a little more upside, at least short term, to maybe 2750. And then we'll see if we can break the 200. The 4 hour looks pretty good. They all just kind of confirm each other. So if the markets hold a little green next week, yeah, then Uber still has a little meat left on the bone before we have to worry about a rejection. It's not the it's not the big daddy that I would want to be in right now, that I would just be like swinging for. Starbucks got nuts today. It hit every one of my targets, and you see I got them lined out right here. Starbucks hit every one of my targets and is on its way to my ultimate take profit target of 109.11. That's Starbucks has made a rip, because I guess everyone's drinking coffee, bro. I guess so. That's the stuff I'm looking for right there. Let's look at them on the weekly and see if they had what I would call a trend changing structure. And in the weekly, it really did. And this is what I'm trying to identify. And there's a lot of other things that go into this, but general shape, that's what I want to see. And with that that right side of the W, I want it to be higher than the left with follow through price action. Once you make that low right there, the next candle I want to see is follow through price action to the upside. And that's a green light for me to start really becoming bullish on it and looking at it from a bullish bias. So yeah, that's old Big Haney. There he is. We got Big Haney and we got Christopher Haney. I don't know what's what, but I like both of you, just because you're in my stream. But anyway, that's that. And then if you're looking for like real long term, what was it that I saw that on? Hold on. I think it might have been silver. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But we'll see if it has any. Yeah, the like a long term trend changing structure, and you're going to see them at the top, an M shape, or a lot of, like I said, that right there. If you're looking at it from long point of view, is you've got this rounding bottom shape. That's usually telling you we found kind of the bottom, and you want to start turning your bias to the bullish side. You don't have to go full blown like, oh, we're going to the moon, but you've got to stop looking at it from a negative point. I think Bitcoin had a really good like rounding bottom-ish. Yeah, and that's what it's done so many times. See it just that kind of rounding bottom, and look what followed. Boom. Same thing, look right here. Rounding bottom, big upside. But then if you look, you see a bit closer, once we got to the top, we started making that M-shaped structure. Look at this M-shaped structure right here. See? There's one, and when you're looking for the M shape, you have that initial high with the second high being slightly higher, And usually when I come back down and get into this valley, that's when I'll start changing my bias, going the other way, looking for legs down. So we've got to see a structure, and we're not. We're seeing a low and a lower low. That's why Bitcoin is not got everybody hyped and on the news yet. I'm using TradingView. You can pull that up on your phone, your laptop. They have a free version, and they have all kinds of packages that you could get a lot more access to tools and publishing and stuff on there. But TradingView is the only one I've ever used. It's my favorite. I think there's more out there. Some of these other guys that some of my members from other countries and other parts of the world and stuff here will probably have other recommendations, and I'm sure they're all fine. And you could there's a million different ways to do it. You got line charts, you got candlesticks, you got hollow candles, all kinds of weird stuff. It's what works for you. But TradingView is never done me wrong. I love them. Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. Come on. How just shit has Tesla been? Look at all of our levels. I don't think it's done. I just don't think it's done with the selling yet. It's hitting way too many targets way too easily, and this tech sell-off I just don't think is finished yet. You changed your name to my nickname. Oh, you're the same person. Hey, that's fine. You can be two different. You can be whoever you want to be, man. In my world, you can be Don Corleone. I don't care who you want to be. That's it. You can be whoever you want to be. But yeah, Tesla. The Tesla puts that we've been posting, smashing, man, just smashing out the gate for months now. But that break below 103, man, I don't care that it wicked back up. I don't see how we don't go back down and test that 96 level. Minimum, 96 minimum. And that would make sense. Now we have gaps to fill at 82 and at 75 area. Maybe, I don't know what the 75's on a daily time frame. But don't be surprised if economic conditions drag on slower or don't move up faster. Don't be surprised if Tesla hits $63 at all. I won't. If it hits it, I won't be surprised at all. I would be expecting it. In a break of $96, we probably are going to get there. Because I don't know if manufacturing in China or any of Tesla's stuff is really going to pick up in time. But that's where I would be. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Speak up, forever hold your peace. What else do y'all want to look at? Microsoft has a death wish. That is on the weekly. That is the most awful bearish engulfing candle that you could have got. Like, at the wrong time. It's nasty. And I can't even say that's a high or low yet. It just looks like more blood in the streets because look at you. You've almost lost all of your positive momentum. So don't be surprised when the next week or so we could have a rally, some kind of crazy little relief rally over the next week trading days. But don't be surprised before January is out if we don't see Microsoft below 213 knocking on $200 at all. I would not be surprised one bit. After that, 190 for sure. That's it. I mean, so you take some longer term puts on Microsoft, you'd probably be all right. This economic data is being twisted and interpreted to fit their narrative. I don't like it. Coinbase, not much of a to write home about either. It's just another engulfing candle running out of steam right here. All this tech stuff is still pointing down. Still pointing down. You've got now Meta. Meta has been beaten up faster, sooner, deeper than any of the other tech stocks, really. Look at this. Look at this dip. We got down to 88 bucks, which made sense. It was a level to make sense about. Um, I was expecting it to get down to 72, but right now it's a long way from 130 down to 72. So we just may not ever see that level. May not. It may have done its damage, but my ultimate take profit target has been 138.37, and we're getting there fast. We're $8 away, and even some of the calls that I alerted just in the last week or 10 days have been just ripping. Because we had this little, if we get down on the smaller time frames, our little triangles broke out, and there's our measured move right there. We're waiting for it to happen. We're almost there. So we should have already taken profit twice, waiting on 138, and then be completely out of it, reassess, and see what's next. Exxon's looking like it's trying to make another climb for 114, and we've got those laid out already for everyone. We've already been through Netflix. It's on a rip. Peabody Energy have been destroying it, bro. It is just on fire. It has been on fire. It broke out of our flagpole situation pretty good. To me, what this looks like, and it's, I mean, really subjective, but looks like a spring, and we're back testing that spring right now. Now what I want to see is follow through price action to the upside and head towards that 32.35 level. Once we get there, that's going to be 1, 2, 3 time triple top, rule of 3. Chances of us breaking it just increased. That's what I want to see. The daily is showing major loss of sellers. They're real good thing when you start losing that kind of negative momentum, trying to go positive. Good things can happen on the daily time frame. The 4 hours already going positive. The 1 hour is already in the positive territory. We got a little overbought, but we've come back down now. And I mean, things can stay overbought for a while. So Peabody Energy, keep your eyes on it. It's looking juicy. What has Ford done for anybody lately? Ford has had a rip also. But I'll tell you what Ford looks like, and this is where people are going to want to argue with me, and that's fine. I don't care. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Ford is looking just like Bitcoin did in 2017-18 when we had this big descending triangle. What you have is a flat bottom of support with lower high, lower high, lower high. So let's go ahead and draw this the next time you guys are here with me. We can go ahead and point all this out. Ooh, just depending on where you draw it, you could say it was a false breakout, and maybe it rejects right here and comes back down. But that flat level of support, this looked just like Bitcoin did, and we know what it did. We took a 50% dump after this one came down. So we've got some triple divergence going on here, about to turn positive. I'm going to guess that this was probably more along the lines of the correct. It probably should be drawn from those 2 anchor points, a little smaller triangle. That gives you room for that to play out, and then we'll have triple bearish divergence come in pretty soon. So be careful with Ford. All I'm saying is we could get up here and tap 13.38, which would make sense, and then fall right back down to $11. If we break that $11, look out below. We're going to $8.94 minimum. So be careful with Ford. Don't get too hype on it yet. They still got to try and convince everybody to buy electric pickup trucks. We got the Airbnbs, man. Low, lower low. Just don't know how. I mean, long term, you're probably all right. If you bought common shares, I'm not going to be trying to short something that's already down like that. Not right now. We need some more bad news to come in. More bad news. Roku, we have bled Roku like a deer hanging from a tree. Roku has been murdered, and that was our fault. We killed it, man. We killed it. And it's getting a little bounce like everything else. But hard times are not over in this economic disaster of an economy. American Airlines has made a climb here. It's been trying to recover. Lots of stuff's been getting a little recovery, but that's what you do. You get dead cat bounces when you've been beaten down like this. We'll see what spring and summer brings. Could bring us a beautiful bull market. Then again, could bring us more pain. All right, anybody else got any other suggestions? We've been live 45 minutes. You guys have been great. And please like, subscribe, tick the little bell to be notified when I go live. Try to follow along, man. I've been posting lots of static videos that are like 3 to 5 minute long, little quick tutorials on how-tos, my thoughts on certain assets. We got a morning watch list every morning, 8:15. They're usually like anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long of what we're trading and why, and exact targets in and out, up and down. Can't make it any easier. If it got any easier, I'd be sitting in your living room with you pushing the buttons on your laptop. And I can't do that. Gas is expensive these days. It's gotten high. But if I could, I would. But if no more questions, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's tuned in. Don't forget to sign up to the Discord if you haven't already. Thanks, guys. We will